Flosstube. So I'm Amy from Amy's Haven Designs, and this is Flosstube number 2. So I'd like to share with you some of the things I've been up to lately. I'd like to say a big thank you for everyone who's watched my first video and also who's got in touch with me with comments and got in touch with me on Instagram. It's been a really nice couple of weeks learning about who's out there and being able to connect. So I'd like to share with you some of the things I've been doing lately. I've done some full finishes on some of the things I showed you in my first video. And I'll start with this one. It's from Modern Folk Embroidery. And I did this I did it in green instead of red. It's called December, and it's called Hope. It's from a Sal, and last time I mentioned all of the information about it, I think. But you can buy each of the bits of the Sal individually. So the thread is Aurifil, and it's 50% wool and 50% acrylic, and it's brilliant to work with just because it's sort of soft and woolly. So, and I've just finished it with a piece of green on the back. And then I finished my love cushion. So I finished the other one probably March time, March time. This one I finished in February time, I think. But I didn't fully finish it in time to get it up to decorate. Again, these fabrics are from Aldi. There was a pack of a bunch of different colors, and I don't recommend them at all. I don't recommend Aldi fabrics, and so I have a wool heart on the back of that one. And this one I saw last week on Mama Loves You GB. She showed this freebie chart. It's from Hands On Design, and it's just so cute. I've made it for a gift. I actually use the same fabric. I don't recommend it. It's hard to explain, but once you start folding it and things, it makes these marks, and it's just the way the fabric's printed. And so it was hard to find bits that were usable. And this, I have a little wool egg and a wool nest for that. It has walnut crystals on it, so hopefully it'll sit really nicely. And I do plan to make another one, maybe in a different colorway, to make one for myself so I can pop it up on my shelf. I made 2 project bags. I'm going to show you later. I've purchased some charts, so I realized I need to make some more project bags, and I have many more that I really need to make. The fabric for these 2 were from backstitch.co.uk, which is a local store for me. It's a fabric shop and has fabric and yarns. It doesn't have much cross-stitch supplies. By that I mean they don't sell charts, and they sell DMC, but they don't sell charts, and they sell Ada cloth, but they don't sell linens and things. But it's still a fabulous shop for fabric and yarn. And okay, this little cat. This came from this book called Bewitching Cross Stitch. A number of months ago, somebody on Instagram, now I won't remember who, and I'm sorry, was doing this, the Celtic Wheel, and I fell in love with it. I love everything Celtic. I'm a member of a Celtic Christian community, and I just thought I really need to have this the Celtic Wheel, which has the different seasons. So I asked her, I did searches, Google searches and things, and couldn't find the chart, so I just asked her, and she told me where, you know, that it was in this book. And the book is lovely. It has lots of things in it that I also like. So the cat came from this series, which I'd really like to do this one day. There are some smalls. I did change the colours on this. I used just colours from my stash, but partly because I really want to do some of these and I wanted them to match up a bit more. So that there's a series in the book called Hocus Pocus, and I intended to do this one first of all. No magic until I've had my coffee. And so I haven't kitted or started the Celtic Wheel or any of the other things, but I thought, you know, I really wanted this to be my year of smalls. I felt like I needed a lot more decorations in my home, and I felt like they're achievable, and as I'm designing my own things, and some of them are quite large, they're taking many months to do, so I thought I need some smalls to fit in there in between, and so I felt like this would be a good idea. And also, if you might be catching on to the fact that I like to do them for the different holidays, but I don't necessarily finish them in time for that holiday. So I thought I'd get ahead of the game for October, so I have some smalls that I could put up in October. So I just changed the colours a bit, mainly because whatever I had, and also so that the purples and the greens might match more closely to the ones I'll be using on some of the other ones. Okay. So those are all my finishes and my full finishes. And I've been watching a bit more Flosstube these last couple of weeks as well. I had got to the point where I was really busy with something, so I wasn't able to sit down and watch at least full episodes of Flosstube. So I've been inspired lately. And I think this came from Just Keep Stitching. The inspiration, I mean, it's not from them. I think. So this is the Zebra Sampler. It's actually called Mary Catherine Harris 1873 by Erna Hiscock. And I saw it, and the reason why I fell in love with it is because I have a sister named Mary Catherine Harrison. That was her original name anyway. And she lives in South Africa. And she actually has giraffes in her back garden. But I just felt really inspired to get this. So the way to get this chart is to contact, I'll put a link below, is to contact Erna Hiscock. Now she's on Instagram and things as well. So to contact her, and then you use PayPal to request the PDF chart. So that's how I did it anyway. And I couldn't wait to get started. So the colours, it's one of my favourite colours, I don't know if everybody else feels the same way, is 3799, which is this deep grey, which I just love. And the other colour is 3866, which I don't have yet, but I will be popping out to the shops in the next few days and get that. And the recommended colour to stitch on was Zweigart Platinum. It says 40 count or 35 count, but none of those things were available. So I got a 32 count platinum. So I got that as well, but I couldn't wait to get started. And I also knew that I really wanted to make 2 of them. One for my sister and one for myself. So I thought I wanted to make 2 versions. So that will be coming up as well. But this has been lovely to stitch. It's been just an absolute treasure. So I got my, for those of you in the UK who might want to know places to buy things, I got my Zweigart Platinum 32 count Murano cotton even weave, from Stitchtastic, and actually I ordered it through Amazon. I've used Stitchtastic quite a bit, maybe because they're less expensive than others, I'm not sure, but anyway, stitchtastic.com. Okay. And I have now decided that Stitching Book Club, I'm going to dedicate Saturdays to Stitching Book Club, meaning that on Saturdays I'm allowed to stitch on Stitching Book Club projects, and also that on other days of the week I don't have to, and I don't have to feel guilty about it. And so I have not done any more on Sense and Sensibility, so I'm not going to show that to you, but this is part 2 of Little Women. That's hard to see. So the first week I did the words and the feather pen, and then this last time we got the house and the trees and the sort of green underneath. And this is how far I've got. So I need to finish a bit of the house, the windows, a tree, and the green bit underneath. I've done a fair bit on that this morning, and I plan on spending some more time with it this afternoon. And I'm not sure, looking at it now, I thought I was optimistic that actually I'd get it done. Looking at it now, maybe it's a bit more than I can get done in the rest of the day, but hopefully that will be okay. And Sundays, I've decided Sundays will be my Roxy day. So last weekend I actually went away, so I didn't get much time on it on either day of the weekend. I didn't get time to stitch because I went away to the seaside. The weather was awful. The weather in the UK is really hit or miss, but I was visiting family members on this particular weekend, and so I got some stitching in only because the weather was not that great. I got a few hours here and there. But this weekend it's hot, hot, hot here. What's the temperature now? It's so hot that everybody wants to stay inside. That's how hot it is. 27 degrees Celsius. So what's that? Let's make that Fahrenheit. Oh, 81 degrees. Oh my goodness. Okay. I want to do some gardening, but it's actually too hot. We become wimps over here in the heat. We melt. So, where was I last week and where am I now? Okay, so I'm doing Algerian eyelet alphabet, and honestly, I did have a few hours to do some work, so I got a few letters in, and I had made a mistake on one, so I had to rip it out and pull it, do it, start again. And still loving all those strawberries. I haven't worked on the strawberries in a while though. I'm using DMC, the called for DMC. So Jean Farish, she originally designed the Roxy sampler. She has Cosmo colors, and Cosmo, along with the fabric that she recommended, which was shortcake or something, Victoria sponge or something, Victoria sponge cake, something like that. Well, the fabric you could get here, but for astronomical amount of money, like just insane. And the Cosmo colors you can't without enormous shipping fees from the States or somewhere. And I even contacted Cosmo distributors in the country. I mean, it was just, it wasn't going to happen. So I have this on a cream something that I'll tell you some other time, and the DMC colors. And that's good. It's interesting with, this is a mystery sal, and although the Roxana Corson sampler is in her Etsy shop and available, and so you have a gist of what it might end up looking like, the colors are just very, to me, unusual and unusual pairings. So it's really interesting to see how it all comes together when it will come out. This has been a lot of fun. I especially love the herringbone stitches, the various herringbone stitches. So, and I have not yet fixed my satin stitches that I think just look a little bit, the stitches are in the right holes, it just doesn't look really smooth. So I think I need to pull that out and just find a good day when I'm in the zone to do the satin stitches. Right. I had this sampler. It was a sampler kit I bought a long time ago. So last summer, while everybody was spending a lot more time on YouTube, I was spending a lot more time on YouTube. I was watching videos about crochet. I had learned to crochet a few years ago. I've knit, feels like all my life, but crochet I could never get the hang of. So a friend taught me a few years ago, and I started looking at YouTube videos about crochet and also needle tatting. So not tatting with the shuttles and not lace making with bobbins, but needle tatting. I thought I like things that are easy, portable, and I really enjoyed that. And so because of that, and also other kind of sewing, I do other sewing, quilting, sometimes clothes and things like that. So I was watching lots of videos, and these floss tubes kept coming up, and I thought, well, I don't know what's that, didn't know anything about what floss tube was. And one day I finally clicked on a video by Celeste, and I just felt like my world turned upside down. It just changed everything. I thought, wow, I had been doing embroidery and things like that because I just thought it was more interesting than what I remember cross stitch being. And it just opened me up to a whole new world, and I found Salt Box Stitcher and Kindred Stitcher and then Country Stitchers, and I found all these people stitching things that I liked, that I really enjoyed, and thought it was just absolutely amazing. And funny enough, I then went through some of my craft boxes. I've moved a couple times in the last few years, so I had lots of stuff kind of stuck in boxes still. And I found this. So if you can see, I guess this is the kind of thing I like. I really like samplers. I really love primitive things. And this is on Ada, and I thought they were anchor threads. I don't know where I read that because I can't see it anywhere on the package. But this is called Victorian Sampler by the Craft Collection Limited. And I have seen this, now I don't know where, but I have seen it on UK sites, shops. So I pulled it out. By the time I watched an episode or two, I thought I need to get some proper stuff. But I pulled this out, and I did start this last autumn. And I call this my comfort stitch. It's really nice soft fabric. It's easy to do because of the holes, so it's great to use at night when it's dark and the lighting's not great in my living room. And I put it away for a few months, and then I pull it out again. And so I pulled it out recently, and I've been doing the top blue alphabet. And I did the strawberry in the last few weeks. I did the strawberries, the blue alphabet, and all this down this side, the sort of flowery thing and the green things on the side. So it's okay to do in the car as well, especially when you get a border like this and you don't need to follow, you don't need to read the chart, you just go. So that's been great lately, but I must say I'll probably be putting it away for a while. And one of the reasons I'm going to put it away is because I'm going to be traveling. So I'm going to be visiting the United States. I'm going to be going to, alright, I'm getting caught. I'm going to visit some family who live in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And I never lived there. I lived in New Jersey for a while and as a child, and I lived in New Hampshire. I went to the University of New Hampshire, and but I've visited North Carolina a few times to see family, and I'll be there. So I am trying to decide what to bring with me, because my main goal is to buy stuff when I'm there, and I would love your help if you know of shops that are in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, especially north of Charlotte, because some of the ones I see are in and south. Please let me know. Comment down below or contact me through Instagram and let me know, because I'm hoping some of my relatives might be willing to give me a ride over to some shops so I can stock up on some fabric and charts and just everything. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm trying to decide what to bring with me, because obviously I'm hoping to buy things there and stitch some of those things while I'm there. One thing I decided I will try to do though is, because I'm going to leave Roxy and the Stitching Book Club behind, I'm going to join in on the Fat Quarter Shop has a Bats, I'm reading it from my thing, so excuse my eyes. Bats and Booze Stitch Along. So not the quilt along, just the stitch along. Bats and Booze. I thought that would be fun. It's a free chart, and then they have lots of accessories to go with it. So hopefully I can get a few of those accessories as well. Maybe the project bag, maybe a pin, needle minder. So I will show that to you too, because I hope to continue to make floss tubes while I'm in the States. That one, you don't have to, I don't think you have to sign up as much, or you just get a chart from, you have to find out from the website, but I can put the link down below. It's Fat Quarter Shop, and it's just front and center on the website, so it should be easy to find. Right, one more thing I'm working on. Back in January, I just had this genius idea. I thought it was fabulous, and I wanted to share it with everybody and get people on board, and it just maybe, I had enthusiasm at the time, which wavered. So my idea was I really wanted a Bristol Sampler, and that I could make my own, just like they did. They, as you find stitches and designs that you like, just add it on. And I have this fabric, it's a grey something. I got a fat quarter of it. It's a grey Zweigart something, but I can tell you later. Anyway, so I took the fat quarter. I really wanted a long skinny piece, because I've yet to do a long skinny piece. Let's see if I can, I'm going to flip the back. I cut it in half, and I kept the other half, just in case I make it really long and skinny. I'll put that there just so maybe you can see it a bit better. And then my plan was to each week have a goal of create one more motif or line or anything on it. So maybe every Friday, sit down for an hour, do another bit, and then, so I, in theory, should be here-ish now. And I put it away, and it ended up, in the bottom of the trunk of WIPs, and I haven't been doing this much lately. So I did get this out last week and started doing some more on it, and I'm actually in the middle of this bit here. But I'd love to know from people, are you doing anything similar? I've seen things that people do that are in the round, or other variations, and there's no cross-stitch police to tell me that I should have do it each week. I can just do them as and when. I'm planning to add things from the other charts that I'm stitching. So as I stitch something, I can, and I feel like I really like a particular motif or a particular border, I can add it on. And I thought it might be a nice keepsake, because a lot of the things we stitch, we end up giving away. And I thought this might be a nice little keepsake. And also a bit of a record of what we get up to. So, I'm not going to promise to do anything on that. I don't know why I have it in this. It's nice and flat, at least. I don't know why I have it in this. I just kept it in there. I don't even have a chart or anything to like stick in the clip. But there it sits. Maybe I just didn't have a project bag. Okay, another thing that I've pulled out, and then I thought I'd really do and didn't do, but I pulled it out just in case I managed to do some of it in the next few weeks. So there are these Cross Stitcher magazine back in January had this calendar. It's this little oh, my floss is stuck. This calendar with a card for each month, and then you put it like that, I guess. Yeah. And well, this is doable, isn't it? Just take a little bit of time each month to do one per month, which is wrong. So let me show you what I've done first. I did January, and I started February. And then I put it away, ended up in the bottom of the trunk, and I just thought, oh, let's start again. Let's do July, sunflowers, lighthouses. Or even July and August, oh, boats, yay. Okay, so a couple weeks ago when I pulled it out, I was really optimistic about it. I'm no longer that optimistic about being able to do it before I leave, which is in 10 days time, because I have other things I need to do. So I might not get to that within the next 10 days, but I'm going to put it on the top of my whips in the trunk. So one of the reasons why I wouldn't bring this with me is because it doesn't need that many colors. Some of the colors are repeated, but it does need more floss. Like, I'd have to bring more floss with me, and that's not appealing. So I will bring not this that I got from Sassy Jacks. I showed this last time. I won't bring this, but I'm going to bring the list so that I can get the rest of the flosses for it, and I also need fabric for it. So I'll bring the list I need for I have the DMCs, which are absolutely gorgeous. I just stuck them on there for now. This is the small, and so I'll bring the list that I need to kit that one and that one. And I did get the boy little needle minder. They said that maybe they'd run out of girls or women, and they did, and that's fine. I'm happy with that. And I'll do that. So I looked on the Sassy Jacks website to see if, could I just get the kit separately? And in fact, they're out of stock because the color is out of stock. So that might be more challenging than I expected. So if anybody knows of somewhere that has these in stock, the items I need for this, I would love a little nudge in the right direction to find them. I have a huge list of items that a wish list, shopping list. I then of course looked around the website, looked around the Fat Quarter website, and then I'd love to go to the local shops and get in there and find things locally, and it's just so that I could see them and see the colours of the fabrics and things. Can't wait. But gosh, my wish list is huge. It's way beyond my budget. I'm sure we're all in the same boat with that one. Right, I'll show you some of my haul. So part of my haul was that linen that I got, and the second bit of haul that I have is called Jane. Okay, not showing you the back. Jane Bennett, 1832, a reproduction antique sampler from Northumberland Sampler House. So this is off of Etsy. It's a PDF. And I bought the kit, which includes not the threads, but the fabric, which is very nice. The color's I'm not gonna be able to show you the color really well. It's creamier than it looks like on the screen. Let's see if I can. It's like more yellow. Kind of slightly more buttery color. It's called 40 count linen for Jane Bennett is biscuit. And it's nicely serged. I don't have a serger, so I'm always using things like we used to do in the old days, is medical tape, first aid tape, and thinking shears, things like that. So I'm going to read this to you. Jesus, permit thy gracious name to stand as the first effort of an infant hand, and while her fingers on the canvas move, engage her tender heart to seek thy love. With thy dear children let her have a part, and write thy name thyself upon her heart. Jane Bennett, Rugby, 1832. So I'd like to get some threads for that, which are called for all DMCs. And the next one, another PDF from Etsy. This is from Jean Farish Needleworks. The Hare in the Basket. I've had this on my wish list for like a year or something. I like everything with hares, I think. I also like things with rabbits. So it must just be sort of hares and rabbits. I do like things with birds, but I don't think of many other animals that I end up buying. The zebra was a bit unusual, I have to say. Right, this says, threads through time connect all generations of needleworkers. We learned our art from the ones who came before us. Today, we teach and preserve for the ones who follow us. J. Farish. The work of my hands. So, I thought that was sweet. Now, she is a big fan of Cosmo color, so there are Cosmo threads called for, and then she has a DMC. So I wrote down all of them on my shopping list in case I can come across the correct Cosmos. Although I'm not sure if I might change some of the colors slightly. So that, again, we'll have to wait until I get to the shop and then have a look and see. Then I got this chart. I can't show you a picture. You're just going to have to take my word for it because I can't show you the chart either. It's from antiqueneedleworkdesigns.com, and they're really beautiful. They're the types where there's like just roses and flowers on black, and the way I saw it, she had done one on a sort of a white or cream background, and I thought that's exactly just a couple of days before I was like, I really want a cushion that has just a flower. It's very like she's not English, the designer's not English, but it's just like very typical kind of English country pillow cushion for your sofa, and I really, really want it. And so I had this chart, and I can't show it to you, and it didn't come with a picture, and the picture was on Instagram, so I'm not sure if I'm technically with it enough to show you, but the thing I'll have to do is just start and then show it to you. But it's a beautiful piece, and the designer is Elif Koser. Maybe I should know how to pronounce the surname, but I can't. So you'll just have to watch that space for that one. And the last one I got is from Primitive Betty's. I did one at Christmas, and I didn't show it last week. It's in all my Christmas decorations, but I could link my video of all my finishes for last year. That's on my other channel, and then maybe you can have a look at it. But anyway, Primitive Betty's. I love all the primitive stuff. This is Live, Laugh, Love. Again, it's from Etsy. You can see a trend here. Now, one of the reasons why I have to use Etsy and Amazon and other online places like the Patrick Rabbit and etc. is because we don't have shops nearby. They're few and far between. I think I did find out recently that there is a shop that sells cross-stitch supplies and things, and it's maybe even less than an hour away. So I'm excited about that because now it should be open. It has been closed for most of the last year and a bit. So now that things are opening up, I might be able to go there, but I'll wait until after my trip. So I love this. I love all the bits of it. And I love the size and the shape. So this one says, it has the alphabet, it has some numbers, and it says Live, Laugh, Love. And that's lovely. And so it calls for DMCs, and then the model was stitched on Weeks Dye Works 30 count linen. So, and then tea dyed, then coffee tea or walnut stain. And I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing tea stains and stuff after, or any stains after I stitch. And I prefer that actually to buying a fabric that's been pre-dyed. And the reason for that is because my iron is terrible and I stitch in hand. So all of my work is really, really wrinkly, and it's so hard to get the wrinkles out. So if I can't use steam on it, again, the same thing about threads, I prefer DMC or something that I can put steam on, I can wash, I can get wet, because I stitch in hand, so I feel like in case I needed to wash it, but also I need to be able to iron it because I can't get the wrinkles out without some steam, and even then I struggle. So I'll have a look at what I'm going to do with those. I'm not planning to start any of these before I go, because the days, my days to pack and prepare and get ready are dwindling. They're falling away, and I'm looking at this wonderful pile of whips and things like that, and just thinking I won't have that much time to do these things. But I'm so looking forward to having more things to do once I get there. I wanted to talk about a few of the Flosstubers that I've been watching lately. So some of the ones I've been watching over the last year or so, but also some of the ones I found lately, and some of them may be familiar to you already. I mentioned quite a few already, so I'm just going to have a look at my list. So I mentioned, Modern Folk Embroidery, I tend to always watch those. They are not as frequent, but I love his videos and I love a lot of his designs. You've seen some that I've done. I've done other designs and I have some more in my stash to do. So yeah, I like Jacob's videos. I tend to watch Country Stitchers quite a lot. Kindred Stitcher, Saltbox Stitcher, and Log Cabin Stitcher. Love her videos. And my UK stitchers that I watch, and there are there are more that I could mention, but the ones that I watch the most, I think, are Bumble Stitcher, Mama Loves You GB, who I mentioned earlier, and While Iris Naps. And I love hers. And what was interesting is, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, probably I didn't, is that there's this sampler that's behind her on the wall, and it has a motif in it that is on the sampler that I showed you last time, my 1830 sampler. It's on the sampler, it's the same motif. And so I did contact her, I was trying to ask about it. I said, like, there's the same motif. Where did it come from? I'd really love to know where some of the designs came from. And so who else? So this week, I'm always finding new ones as well. So one of the ones I found this week is Windy City Stitchers. And also Just Keep Stitching. I think I'd seen a video a long time ago, and then it's always bad to not subscribe. You need to subscribe, because otherwise they get lost and then you don't get to see them again. And then, so please subscribe, yeah. And then, so many months later, a year later, I'm finding them again. Another one I watch a lot is Brenda and the Cereal Starter. So those are like my main ones. 911 Stitcher. So those are some of my main ones that I watch most of the time. And then the other things that I do when I'm stitching is I listen to a lot of audiobooks. And some of that worked really well for Stitching Book Club. I tend to listen to the audio of the book instead of reading it. And so far, I think all of the books that I've stitched, I've read before anyway. So is that true? I'm not sure. So some of them I've read, and some of them I've seen movies of, and that kind of thing. So it's been really good to stitch and listen to it at the same time. And when I did the Jane Austen books, I listened to one so quickly that I just listened to another and another and another. So that's been a lot of fun. So I've been listening to Little Women. I've been listening to, for a while now, I've been listening to Bible in a Year podcast by Ascension. It's with Father Mike Schmitz. And so those are sort of 20-25 minutes each. So I'm far behind. I don't listen to it every day. I sometimes try to save a couple so I can listen to a couple while I'm cleaning or doing the dishes or doing some stitching. So that's been really good. And other than that, I tend to watch Netflix or get into a series. I just watched all of Castle. It took weeks and weeks to to watch. It was 9 seasons or something. And now I'm watching Murder, She Wrote, which is on TV here, and it's many episodes a day, and I can record it or what have you, and I can just sit because I saw all of those episodes when I was a child, living in America. I used to watch them with my mother, so I don't have to focus on it too much, and I have really enjoyed that. So I tend to watch kind of gentle murder mysteries, listen to Poirot or Agatha Christie. I was listening to and reading the Enola Holmes, and then things like that. So those are the types of things I'm doing when I'm stitching. It's hard for me to stitch with nothing, and I also don't prefer music. I prefer to be watching something or listening to a story. I feel like because as the stitching addiction takes over, it's hard to find time to read. And reading was my addiction before. I love to read. So it's the best of both worlds. And I use the free library apps where you can just have ebooks, and you can also have digital books. And I just think it's the best thing ever. And that is pretty much how I've been spending the last year and a half of our, interesting time here on the planet. I've been really enjoying being able to do those things. So I think that's all for today. I really would like if everybody who, I'd just like to say thank you for staying to the end. thank you for coming and watching. Please comment. I really would like to get the discussion going and just find out where you're from. That would be fab. And if you can give me any recommendations of things to do near Charlotte, North Carolina. I have 2 kids, and shops. I would really love it. So find me on Instagram or comment down below. Thanks for watching.